got home from work today and I'm going to put together two of these pool loungers. My wife found these after somebody made a Facebook post, one of her friends did, and she said, hey, if you like the pool loungers that go on your tanning ledge of your pool that are normally, $250 to $750, I've seen them all over the place as far as price goes. She said, if you want to spend that kind of money, the Members Mark version of the pool lounger from Sam's Club, 99 bucks. So we bought two of them, one for each side of the tanning ledge. We've wanted these chairs for a while now, but didn't want to spend that kind of money. That's crazy money for a damn pool chair. So we're going to try these out and see how well they work. I know a lot of times that the more expensive a product, the better the quality, but that's not always the case. I've been surprised sometimes with some cheap items that wound up to be just as good, if not better, than the expensive counterparts. So let's get into this thing. I believe it says quick to assemble, blah, blah, blah. So it's got some hardware with it. I'm assuming these two pieces just bolt together. Maybe there's more than two pieces. Let's see. We'll get this all laid out here. We'll kind of see what we've got. What's up, Casper Jones? This is our old cat, Casper. That's our buddy. All right, so we do have an instruction booklet, so on and so forth. So it appears this chair comes in three pieces. I can pretty much tell where those first two pieces, how they go together. That third piece, I'm not sure where that goes, but we're going to figure that out. We're going to figure that out here in just a minute. There's some tape holding the hardware and the instructions to this piece. Oh, I know what this is. So these are weighted down by sand. This appears to be where you fill the sand up at. So there's a hole here that you're going to put the sand in, and then this thing closes back down, which is already kind of bent. So that's kind of strange. And then I'm sure it'll go somewhere. Maybe on the bottom it slides in. We'll get to that probably towards the end. But so far, looking at this, with this plastic being bent and this not being screwed on, just popped in, and there being sand in here and it possibly being under the water, that don't make any sense. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure there's something that I'm not seeing or realizing. So let's go into the instruction book here. The owner's manual. Do not return this product to the store. All right. Let's check it out. It says you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a Phillips head drill, some safety glasses, and some sand. All we really need are the tools. We don't need safety glasses. My wife's picking up the sand now. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go grab the Phillips screwdriver and a Phillips drill bit for my drill. Now we're back with our drill with a Phillips bit and a Phillips bit screwdriver. Let's see what they say for us to do first. Let's go ahead and get our parts out of here, our hardware, bolts and such. They have two packages. So the first thing it says that we need, I believe, is going to be this package. A threaded insert. Well, that's strange. They have some of the same stuff in the packages. I don't know why they have them separated out like they go for different steps, because for this first step, you have to open both packages. That doesn't seem very intelligent. So we'll open up both packages and hell, mix them together, because you need these threaded pieces, a threaded insert. And it looks like, okay, piece E is the back. Is the back piece, which is here. So this is piece E. Now the instructions do say to keep this chair from being scratched, you can lay it on top of the box or something soft. I don't care. This concrete's not very rough, and my children are rough. So I imagine this chair is going to be beat up inside that pool and thrown out and all kind of things. So I'm not sweating it too much. All right, so here looks as though this thing is turned this way. So we have it in this position, and there's going to be a place for these threaded inserts to go. And they give you a hex key to stick inside of here. So there's two holes up here at the top that we're going to screw this into. This is kind of different method here. Feels like it went in pretty tight. Now we'll come to this other side and do the same thing. So we screwed those two in. So this is the piece we're using along with the Allen key that they supply. And those first two go right here in these plastic holes. There's one there, and then there's one there. The third one, it says you flip this over, and let's see here. It's supposed to be somewhere around here. Oh, that's showing piece F. All right, so two of these. So two, you have three of these total. So two of those go in that piece, which is the back. And then you have this bottom part where your legs will go. And it says that one of these, come here, it goes in here. So it'll go right here in this little middle section. You have to push down just a little bit. Those other two went in really easy. This one, it seems to be a little tighter. Once you get it started, though, it'll grip and rip. Let's see. Yeah, this one's really being a pain. There it is. Once it starts into that plastic, it'll get in there. So this is where that third, what are they calling that damn thing? A threaded insert. So this is where the third threaded insert goes. Goes on piece F, which is the part where where your legs go. All right, that is step 1. Step 2 now requires 2 2-inch threaded bolts. So let's see here. We have different size bolts. The manual here says they give you, watch out, Casper, 3 of these 3 inches. Go on, Casper. So this is going to be, these must be true to size. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, if so, then it'd be 2 of those. I don't know. Now I'm questioning myself, because this thing shows 3 bolts that are 2 inches. It doesn't show this long son of a bitch, though. All right, well, we're not going to worry about that. It says go with the 2-inch. We're going to go with this because we have 3 of these. That says they're 2 inches. Now, there's also a washer. So this step requires 2 bolts that are 2 inches and 2 washers. So we'll go ahead and put our washers. We'll thread them on. So this is showing piece F and piece E. So this is F, this is E. They have it at a weird angle. These instructions aren't the best. I've seen better. I've also seen worse. And I'm going to assume that this goes in here, and we're going to be threading into, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to say we're going to be threading these into those little metal threaded pieces that we just installed. That looks right. So let's go ahead and put a little something on it. Of course, you can do this by hand. You don't have to have a drill, but having a drill makes it a lot easier. Just like that. All right, that's step 2. Step 3 calls for 3 of these bolts that have the pointed end. So it's like they're self-tapping, these like self-tapping screws. These would be screws, not bolts. So use screw D, which is what this is, to attach parts E and F. Screws form their own holes. Apply pressure and start slowly. So now they're wanting us to drill these holes. Let's find out where. Maybe in here. I'm going to say that's what it's looking like. Let's flip this back around. Yeah, it's going to be through here. So they're saying they form their own holes. So that tells me there's not going to be a hole already here. And this drill bit is too big. Let me go grab another drill bit. I'll grab a smaller Phillips drill bit. Some of you may know, some of you may not, but there's different like tip sizes when it comes to Phillips bits. And I don't know, I think they have numbers, like a number 2, a number 4. I don't really understand it. I just know that there's different ones. And the one that I used a while ago with those big bolts, it worked great. But now that I'm going to these screws, it didn't fit. So I'm switching over to one that has a little more of a point on it, and that works perfect. It fits. So you may or may not run into that problem. If you do, find a different shaped bit. They're all Phillips, but they're just different. All right, so now we're going to just, I guess, screw into here. Hopefully we're in the right place. I think we are. I put my hand back here to make sure I didn't come out of the back, make sure I was in the right place. I think I am. You do have to apply a little bit of pressure to get it started. After you have it started, it goes in pretty easy because this is plastic. It's not very thick plastic either. It's just plastic. I about stripped that one out. Anyway. All right, number 4 says you add sand. 25 pounds of sand. Pack sand for best results. Then they want you to scan the QR code for a demonstration of how to pour sand into this hole. I don't believe I'm going to need that. And that does go, it goes here. But as I was saying earlier, how this doesn't seem to be really secure. It looks like it goes back this way. So that sand hole in this plug that isn't great is going to get secured right there and pushed. So that's fine. That's going to be okay. However, we can't finish this until my lovely wife gets home. Son of a bitch. Until my lovely wife gets home with the sand. Because we need to put sand in this and then secure this here. And that may be the last step. Yeah, that's the last step. They give you a few extra screws and things. I don't know why, but they do. So you'll have some extra hardware. We'll finish this up when she gets home. Well, the wife got home with the sand, so we can finish these chairs up. And that was a couple of days ago, so I've had them stacked up over here. And it's rained a little bit since then, so they got a little water in them. Not a big deal. This last step should be pretty easy. We have to fill up the little bottom pieces, the back pieces, with sand. Let's try one. The last step is to take this piece, pull out this plug, and your sand goes in here. Each one of these chairs calls for 25 pounds of sand. So my wife went to Home Depot and grabbed a 50-pound bag because 25 and 25 equals 50. And we're going to do half and half of the sand. I believe you can also use water, but we're going to use sand. I'm going to try to pour this in without getting it everywhere. It's a pretty good sized hole. And I imagine we're going to have to pour some in, pick it up and shift it down. Let me make sure y'all can see that. So we'll pick this thing up. We'll pour some sand in. And once it starts to fill up there in that hole, just pick it up, let it go to the bottom. That's all you got to do. Again, it filled up. Pick it up, let it go to the bottom. Yeah, now I'm making a damn mess. So I'm going to keep doing this until it's full, and then we will attach it to the bottom of this first chair. All right, that was perfect. It filled them up completely full. I went ahead and did both of them. So take one, put the little plug back in. Once your plug's in, the way this goes is there's two little pins at the bottom right here that slide into these holes, and this piece lays down like that, and then you got a bolt that goes in the top up there. So we'll get a bolt and a washer. We've got a bolt and a washer. We have our drill, and we will drill this into that little threaded piece that we installed earlier. And that locks the sand in place, gives you some weight for your chair. Same thing on the other one. Bolt and a washer. Take our little plug it in. Pick it up, slide it in the back in them holes. I need both hands. Slide it in them holes. That lays down. A bolt and a washer goes in this top hole. And that's it. The chairs are complete. Now we're going to put them in the pool and see if they float around. Let's see. See how well these things did, or how well they're going to do, rather. Well, they're pretty heavy with that sand in them. So let's set this in place. I think once the bottom half fills up with water, it should sit right down. Oh yeah, come on. There we go. Get all that air out of there. It's trying. Once you purge the air and it's replaced by the water, it shouldn't want to float up anymore. So we're going to hold it down here until all the air bubbles stop. All right, doesn't seem to be floating around. That first one seems to be okay. Now we'll put the second one on the other side. Same thing, push them down, hold them down, let all that air come out of there. This is kind of fun. All right, and that one's in place. They still slide around a little bit. They're easy to move, but they're staying in place for the most part. We'll see if they stay there. There might be some more. You know what? There might be some more air back here. I wonder if I tilt this thing over, if I can get any more of that air out back here in this thing. Because any air that you have in here is going to want to float. I think that's a little better. So I'm going to just tip the back of these down some, which will get some of that air to come up. And then it'll come out of those holes again. So another little purging of air. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. All right. That seems a little more stable now, but they're still easy to move if you need to move around your pool. So we'll see how long it takes the kids to break these and destroy them. But for right now, they're in there.